Hi, this is Stu Brody, and I originated the series Integrity Stu in order to explore some of the questions that I've been talking to you about in blogs and in my book, The Law of Small Things. And it's essentially what constitutes integrity in our culture. So today we're at the home of Bevan Olyphant in southern Arizona. Bevan is a distinguished leader and professor, and he will share his thoughts on the nature of leadership and trust and the impact of its loss in our culture. Hello, this is Stu Brody, and this is Integrity Stu, a series that's devoted to the subject of integrity and the issues of integrity in our culture. So today I'm very pleased to have as our guest Bevan Olyphant, who is a distinguished leader. We're going to talk about leadership. His leadership extends to 6 years with Special Forces and the 101st Airborne, a storied division of our armed services, and corporate leadership positions over many years, as well as teaching leadership at the University of Arizona in the Honors College. Bevan, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
You have talked a lot and very eloquently about the subject of leadership, and I'd like to ask you about that today. What do you think is the most important element of leadership?
Well, that's a big question, but I'll try to simplify it. I think that leadership is based around the most important word in the English language, and that's trust. The reason I narrow it down, the answer to your question, to one word, is because if you do not have trust, you have nothing. It's extremely difficult to develop your trust with other people. But once you lose it, it's even more difficult to bring back. And today, as we look around our country, we are lacking in trust. What do I mean? Look at Congress. It's never ever been at a lower level of trust. Nobody trusts our political leaders today. The direction that the country is going in today is lacking in principles. And when one lacks in principle, one cannot have trust of the voting public. And that's where we are. And it's a very, very critical juncture, I believe, that we're in. I think in order to establish trust, you have to be who you are. Don't pretend to others that you're something else. Being humble, listening to their needs, listening to the direction that they feel is appropriate. In building that trust, you listen to the people that are under your leadership. You respond to their needs if justified. But every decision that you make should be made on principles, not on personal greed or personal advancement. Think of the whole. Everything that we deal with is a team. It's a team effort, and it's the synergy that comes from that team effort will allow you to accomplish your mission.
Is there any prescription you have for today's young people?
Don't go through life thinking that this world owes you something. We don't owe you anything. What you accomplish is what you work hard for and deserve. The people are the ones that need to take charge of this country. It's not a handful of bureaucrats. So in order to develop trust, get out of that comfortable office, get back to the people that you're representing and find out what their needs are and focus on that. Don't be self-centered on your own personal needs and padding your future as a government animal that lives off of the federal government or lives off of the corporation that you're running. These exorbitant salaries are totally out of line, in my humble opinion. So let's get back to reality. And by getting back to reality, taking responsibility for your actions, in turn, you will develop trust with the people that you're leading. I think I can make a broad statement that 90% of the problems in the world today are because of greed. Whether you're talking environmental problems, whether you're talking about financial problems, whether you're talking about ideological problems, it's all based on greed. Greed of a few individuals that are so inwardly focused. They're not thinking what is best for my community, what is best for my country, what is best for the world. Because I'll tell you what, it ain't about you. Even though you get in this perfumed environment, in these idyllic offices with a great view, it's not about you. Cut yourself down to who you really are. Be a principled person. Don't always look inwardly as to what is best for you. This me is consuming us. Think about the others, the ones that put you in that position. Then, and only then, will you start developing trust.
This Law of Small Things production is based on the book, written by me, Stu Brody. Just go to the Integrity Intensive website for a free chapter and test your integrity with the Integrity Quotient Test.